Did you know Jamaica now ranks among the world's lowest fertility nations?
Will Jamaica have to import people to help with the boosting of the country's economy?
The youths them stress, the man them stress till a special weed and grabber then sperm count gone low. Cause society stressing. So I don't want we breed up for.
Listen to me, ladies, continue contributing to the declining birth rate because this is not helping you.
What's up, guys? Welcome back to this channel once again. Thank you for the love you keep showing us, tuning in and watching our content every time we make a new upload. For those who are new, watching us for the first time, make sure you subscribe to this channel because this channel is about this type of important conversations. So guys, for decades, Jamaica was known for big families, young people everywhere, and a growing population. But quietly, without much public debate, that reality has been changing. Fewer babies are being born, the population is aging, and policymakers are now asking difficult questions about who will work, who will pay taxes, and who will care for the elderly in the future. So today we are breaking down why Jamaica's birth rate is falling, what the data actually shows, and why immigration and labor recruitment have entered the conversation without exaggeration or panic. So guys, watch these videos I've compiled, then I'll be back with more reaction. Thank you.
And between the year 2020 to 2026, the Jamaican women have opened their eyes so much so to say that we are not fucking having kids. And all the women that have kids, they're like, no fucking more. And this is the fourth news or third news. I'm gonna say Jamaica is like, please have more kids. And that benefits the country, but how does it benefit me as the individual? Like, be so for real. You want women to have kids, but you're not putting in any policies, incentives, or programs that would make women want to have kids. Not to say the obvious, but some of these men that would want to have kids are either taken or they're on the other side of life. So what are you doing so that women can have more kids and want to have more kids? The time when I tell women to go have pitney, why would not go revisit the past program stipulations and fix it up? Because why do you have to be dirt fucking poor to get help? And not everybody are gonna get help, and the help is bare minimum. I just saw a lady from Toys Pen on the news where she said she have a fried chicken fat figure pitney them for yam, and sometimes she have to watch them eat. Listen to me, ladies, continue contributing to the declining birth rate because this is not helping you. Don't you guys realize that the women are finding out that there's more to life than a bum-ass baby father and a husband with just half-assing shit? Give it some time, government. Nobody now have pitney where 16, 17, and 18 anymore. And the ratio of those who are having kids that young is so minute. So, give it some time. Maybe the lady, them wait till them are 30 and 40. What more do you want? Take care of the women that are having kids now. That don't need to go focus on and leave the people them alone.
My side, I hope you're listening to RJR News, because some time ago, when the National Family Planning Board and whichever other organization came up with the two ads that one spoke to two being better than too many, another one spoke to using a condom every time. From that time, me know say trouble there, because it's one thing to be promoting safe sex, but if you're going to be telling people at will, including married people, married couples, people who should be contributing to the birth rate, responsible, married, or just responsible parents or prospective parents, that they're to use condoms every time, then is only one result you're going to have, right? So fast forward to 2024, and if you listen in any news at all, then you would have noticed that we're suddenly in trouble. And before we got here, though, in terms of the new discovery that we are in trouble because our birth rate has drastically declined, and we're talking about, I'm hoping that I really never heard the figures too wrong, but it sounds like a whole heap it declined. I mean, not even going to quote the figures that I thought I heard last, because I think I might be incorrect. But after those ads came out, and I'm reminded that there was one where, the math brain went to beg at a particular home, and the lady came out to declare that this person was a math brain, and how come you never make it in your life? You clearly drop out of school with a 3, pick me them. Meanwhile, I moved on, I got married, and I'm doing okay, and although I never made it the bright one, and with that whole era, after all of that, then of course we had the chick V, then the Zika, and then the COVID pandemic, and all of those periods, in case you all forgot, we were also encouraged to wrap it up, because this is not the time for childbearing. Well, no, the birth rate has drastically declined, and I'm sorry to be the bearer of bad news, but what it means is that those of you who plan to retire by age 65 will likely have to continue, not because you can't afford to retire at age 65, but because the country needs workers and we don't have it from the young people. And might I pause to mention the Taps and Roses crew? Because when I start talking about it, if you're talking about the labor force and the continuity, and if you are looking around, being observant like me, then you might notice that every corner shop you go up and all the little places where you would have the unskilled workers, all of them have up vacancy signs. And then there's this set of young people who are on social media making a killing and don't plan to go around no customer service counter, or not even that's a bank teller or any of those other people, because what they're being paid on social media is comfortable for them and way beyond what a lot of us working class people are earning. So no, we're in trouble. So how it really go? Think on these things, but I really saw the trouble coming from, as I said, those ads that were telling us to use a condom every time. So it's not it was way beyond safe sex and early days and so forth, and get tested. No, don't get tested and then decide whether or not you're using a condom. We're using a condom every time because we don't want no baby around here, right? And it has now reached the point where we are having 1.5, I think they said, children per household, if not less. So we discovered that 2 was better than too many, and then when the little freedom sweet way, we realized 1 is even better than the 2. Trouble there.
Alright, so this is a new thing in the Observer. PIOJ sounds alarm about brain drain and declining birth rate in Jamaica. Well, I'm not sure how alarmed and puzzled, because this kind of been in the making for a while now. Like, come on, Jamaica is one of the most difficult places to survive and build wealth for your family, and if you want to do a look, the hardest thing is to have a look at education and know what it is, what the world is like, without having that bucket from healthcare to even just your day-to-day living, your cost of living, your everything will go hand in hand with money. So the educated people have a opportunity to lift up, so them are gonna lift up, you see me, and that are gonna contribute to the brain drain. So obviously this come back to social economical conditions, you see me, government. So we no need to make it, because most people them know what, if them be have the choice to stay at Jamaica and make certain money where them not make overseas, more people that they are saying me. You see me, despite of all of the other insufficiencies of what we might have here in Jamaica. But you see, if the money they actually make sense and people could have see them way out, you would have less brain drain, you would have less declining birth rate. Like, people now have youth and can't take care of them youth. You see me? Them thing there are back in the days thing. Nobody now want to go through sufferation. So them are going to leave and start them families elsewhere. You see me? So I think this is a chance for the government, or everybody in power, for looking upon this up and figure out what the best way to go about it. We know say economy have to grow and whatever, but is either you're really, really wealthy in Jamaica, or you're just in the middle class. And the middle class in Jamaica, majority of middle class people, them just make enough money for take care of the bills and go back to work. So you become like home visit, like some level of slavery, if you understand. Because you have to go back at work, and it's hard for you if you get a little chance, opportunity to create wealth for yourself. You see me? So most people, most educated people, them go leave. You see me? So come on. This is supposed to be a thing. I don't know what it is. You're not so disconnected. Although somehow I'm kind of disconnected still. Because near somebody come bow 2 grand, can save 2 grand a day and buy a week and buy a Pro Box. You see me? So when I have to figure this thing out and make it workable for people and the next generation them will come up. You see me? God bless them.
Me nah beat round the bush today. Jamaica is not safe for the
Okay. I know what you're saying is, somewhat true, and there are a lot of reasons why people wouldn't want to have children nowadays, and trust me, there's a lot more than that going on. Some of it very controversial, and some of it having to do with cultural shifts as well as socioeconomic problems that we're facing in this country. One of which has a lot to do with feminism. Let me start from that point. Feminism has basically been around since the 1960s, got more popularized in the 1970s and 80s, and reached its peak in the 1990s, where we found a lot of modern women going into the workforce at an equal rate as men. However, from that time till now, we still have found that a lot of men still earn a lot more, because obviously some of the jobs that the men do are more dangerous work, and the men are usually more willing to work longer hours and so forth. Women, of course, sometimes are single mothers and want to get home to their kids and all of that. But in the same breath, feminism has also allowed women to be liberal in their sexuality. And a lot of these women, during the 1990s and 1980s, were just sleeping with anybody they wanted. It wasn't really like that before. Women used to think about who they wanted to have sex with, and they would choose their partner because they wanted to have somebody who would be there for them, to be a father figure in the family that they would create. But that got abandoned during the time when, I'm telling you, feminism took over. So we find now that in our day and age, millennials and Gen Zs, many of the men especially, did not grow up with a father. So you are expressing a situation where men don't take care of their children anymore. Well, guess what? If they didn't have a good example of what a father is, what do you think is going to happen? That is one of the worst things that could happen. Let's take it a little bit deeper than that, though. Socioeconomically, Jamaica is one of the places where economic stresses are some of the worst in the Caribbean. Mind you, we have some of the most talented people on the planet. We excel anywhere in the world you put us. Any country in the world you find a Jamaican, they're in some sort of leadership position, or they're leading their field, so to speak. So we know it's not a matter of not being able to excel or being, smart or good people. But we do have a socioeconomic problem in Jamaica that mostly has to do with how our government treats the lower classes. So middle class, lower middle class, and what we'd call the poorer class. Those things must be addressed, as you said. Healthcare has been some of the worst, in the worst condition it has ever been in Jamaica. I recall going into the store last year, and the situation was, I was sitting on a bench for 12 hours. 12 hours. After I was sent to the ward, I was admitted. I was on a ward for 12 hours before I got to bed. So that will let you know what's going on. And in terms of postnatal care, we do have a lot of that in Jamaica. Systems that were put in place from the 90s, and some that were even improved upon during Portishead's administration. A lot of that was done. So I think mostly the issue that we need to work on is building back the mindset for family. If we're working on building back the mindset for family, it has to start with education. It has started social programs that will encourage and not just encourage but enable our youth or young people to get into that mindset of building family again. And until that is done, I'm sad to say that this situation is only going to get worse, and we're going to only have more people choosing not to have children. Right now, most people I speak to are looking to leave this country. They want to have children, but they don't want to have it in this country. Violence is on an all-time high. We have police killing innocent people in the name of justice. When we came out of a situation like that in the 1990s, we created a charter of rights to protect the citizens of this country, which is now currently being undermined by the current government. And I don't even know why that even makes any sense for us to go back in time to try to fight crime when we know the problem is socioeconomic. We're not creating enough opportunities to take the idle hands away from the bad situation. So those are all of the things that are definitely affecting the reason. And there may be one more, one that may be directly linked to something that is going on elsewhere in the world, where we notice that countries that took a particular medical decision to fight a particular pandemic are now coming up short in terms of reproduction. And we were warned that that would happen, and that's the dangerous part. A lot of people did not pay attention. Over 1,500 class action lawsuits around the world against some of those big pharma companies because of that same issue, along with many other comorbidities caused by those quote-unquote mRNA vaccines. So, I don't know if it's going to get any better until we decide to have a shift in our society, but I hope it gets better, because Jamaica is too great a nation to have it waste like that.
Then you are going to tell me, say no. True Jamaican people, both male and female, can't have sense. The health sector go for people for come here for come breed Jamaican people just because we kind of like tourists. The devil is a liar from the pit of hell. And you not go get them the people there, no them have to come with their account, come put down. Because me want to know what do uno head government stick up in. Minimum wage no raise, but light bill raise. Minimum wage no raise, but water bill raise. And most of the time when I get water in our pipe. Minimum wage no raise, yet we have to live in a rent house. We can't go squat and put up couple little plyboard and make a room for yourself. But minimum wage, you understand me just there? And only thing say, we woman no see what go on, and them mans out there no see what go on. How you think I go breed in them time? Almost $2,000 for one bread now, you know, and holiness. Governments. One tin of milk almost $1,500, you know how much we get for minimum wage. Every fortnight. No rent is under $25,000. It's either $25,000 or over. Check with minimum wage. And then everyone we have one good government selected work where you understand can back up and you can take half a Jamaican, 90% of Jamaican women are bartenders. And most of them have their youth. So do the maths. 15 grand hour a week. Fortnight 30 grand. Rent for pay. Money done. One time the woman then used to sleep with the landlord them for settle up their rent. And they so them breed and get pitney. Nobody now do that again. So everybody start to take them protection from dear son and try to start out in life. Now say people in now breed. Now come on talk about not sending people. Wanna make no sense? Land tap bill. From creation, we come here conceit and nobody can go. You know the amount of rotted infrastructure in a town when I have no like buildings that were working before where business gone bad, building shut down and this and that, and the amount of people who want places to live, and as government could have renovate and make people get to stay there and pay a little as nothing. Uno not do it, and if the people are move in on the run, go run them out and go evict them. I wanna come talk about what we breed for do. The youth them stress, the man them stress till a special weed and grabber then sperm count gone low. Cause society stressing. So I don't want we breed up for. I must see apocalypse on one yes. So I go get people from out there so for come in, for come breed weed Jamaican. Our farming a go on, and we want some hybrid animals, so I must donkey them. He goat them and he pick them all come mix with and get some hybrid. Because we are not fools. We can't go out to go have picnic when we can't even maintain ourselves sometime. This is what Jamaica gone to, you know. Get your paycheck, kind of party and ease the stress, and by the time you come back to Monday morning, the stress start back again. So, baby now, bless the hearts and the soul who are having their kids, because I would surely want the next one, but I gotta be thinking about it. Because my one son hard to maintain. And him not even hard to maintain, it's just what's going on. Jobless, minimum wage now go up, cost of living high. It just, bro. But you see we here, sir, we good. Boy, poor people couldn't feel a fat.
People tell me why birth rate is becoming a huge conversation in Jamaica. When we can barely find food, we can barely pay our bills, we can barely send our kids to school. Why is this a conversation? Why the government don't focus on minimalizing the cost for food and other things? We're so focused on, oh, we are not having enough kids and in the coming years it's going to affect our economy and so on. Why we not focus on the things that are right now that needs to be fixed? As opposed to not talk about birth rate. When we have much picnic, we will take care of them. Remember say Andrew Holness and the government of Jamaica are well fixed when it comes on to certain stuff. Their kids go to Upper St. Andrew schools and so on, while our kids can barely go to school. We don't need to focus on making Jamaica better for us first before we focus on we having more kids. What?
The decline in birth rate is an issue beyond health. It is really a socioeconomic issue because it is your birth rate that determines your population, and it is your population that determines your workforce, your labor force. There are many other variables, of course, but if you are declining below your replacement rate, then it poses a socioeconomic challenge for the country. The challenge is to determine why you're declining. The ideal is not to decline, although similarly so not to grow too fast, and to manage that population to be able as a government to provide all the social services, education, health, security, and for the population to be productive so we can have the economic gains that we all desire. So it's a bigger problem than just healthcare.
Did you know Jamaica now ranks among the world's lowest fertility nations? In 2025, women average 1.3 children, far below the 2.1 replacement level. Replacement level means the number of children needed to keep a population stable. Only 5 countries globally record lower fertility: South Korea, Singapore, San Marino, China, Malta. Jamaica now shares demographic ground with Japan, Italy, Spain, Cyprus, and Bosnia. Just 25 years ago, between 1995 and 2000, fertility stood at 2.5. Education, urbanization, migration, and economic pressures helped cut that figure nearly in half. Experts warn fewer children mean an older population and shrinking workforce by 2040. Real estate may shift towards smaller units, retirement spaces, and diaspora buyers. Healthcare, pensions, and social services will face heavier burdens with more elderly citizens. The UN advises governments to support families with housing, childcare, and secure jobs. Poll: Should Jamaica welcome more immigration to balance population decline? Like and follow and share if planning for the future inspires national pride.
Thank you very much for watching that video until the end. So let's start with facts. And I'm going to read this. According to Jamaica's Statistical Institute, starting, live births declined by about 17% between 2011 and 2021. Births dropped from roughly 39,000 per year to under 33,000. Jamaica's fertility rate is now around 1.9 births per woman. For context, a fertility rate of 2.1 is considered replacement level. Below that, populations eventually shrink or age rapidly. This isn't opinion, it's demographic math. In the 1970s, the average Jamaican woman had 4 to 5 children. Today, most women are having 1 or 2 or none at all. Hospitals have confirmed this trend. Major maternity wards report hundreds fewer births per month than a decade ago. This is not unique to Jamaica, but for a small island with high migration, the impact is magnified. Women are delaying motherhood. More women are pursuing education and careers. Childbearing is happening later, which often reduces total births. This is a global pattern seen everywhere. Fertility falls. Family planning is working. Nowadays, contraceptive access is widespread. Women have more control over when and if they have children. This is not a failure, it's autonomy. Economic pressure is real, let's be honest. Raising a child in Jamaica today means high food costs, housing challenges, school expenses, healthcare costs. Many couples are choosing fewer children intentionally, not accidentally. One of the biggest factors, large numbers of Jamaicans aged 20 to 40 live abroad. That's the prime age for starting families. When those people leave, births leave with them. Here is the part many people miss. Jamaica isn't just having fewer babies. People are also living longer. That means more elderly citizens, fewer young workers, a shrinking tax base supporting pensions and healthcare. The UN projects Jamaica's median age could reach the mid-40s by 2050 if trends continue. That changes everything. Labor force, healthcare demand, economic growth potential. Now let's be very clear, because this is where misinformation spreads. The Jamaican government has not announced a policy to import people to replace Jamaicans. What we've been seeing, what has happened is this. Government officials have acknowledged labor shortages, especially in healthcare, skilled technical fields, essential services. So Health Minister Dr. Christopher publicly stated that if local labor is insufficient, Jamaica may need to attract foreign workers, recruit internationally for specific sectors. Countries mentioned in the discussion include places like Nigeria, the Philippines. This is labor recruitment, not population replacement. Experts agree immigration can help, but it's not a cure-all. Demographers are clear. Immigration can support the workforce. It can ease economic strain, but it cannot fully reverse aging on its own. That's why governments worldwide combine. Targeted immigration. Jamaica is now entering that same policy space. Important clarity. No mass immigration program announced, no forced population growth agenda, no attempt to pressure women into childbirth. In fact, UNFPA and Jamaican officials emphasize reproductive choice, not coercion. The focus is support people who want children, plan responsibly for demographic reality, avoid economic shock in the future. So what does this mean for Jamaica's future? Jamaica is entering a new demographic era. That means smaller families, older population, tough policy decisions ahead. The question isn't, is this good or bad? The real question is, how does Jamaica adapt intelligently? With fair labor policies, support for families, respect for choice, strategic planning, not panic. This conversation needs honesty, not fear. Declining birth rates don't mean Jamaica is dying. They mean Jamaica is changing. And how the country responds economically, socially, and politically will shape the next generation. Thank you very much for watching this video. Drop your thoughts in the comments. Should Jamaica focus on supporting families, productivity, selective immigration, or all of the above? What do you think? Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.